Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having an outstanding week so far. Students, in this class we're looking at some IELTS speaking. Particularly, we will be focusing part 2 and 3 on an object that requires some training. So think about that, like maybe using a computer or driving a car. Welcome Jaspreet, Athika, Nagar. Good to see a new channel member, Sanjeev Batra. Nice to have you join us. Welcome Carolina, our channel moderator. Students, as usual, this lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. If you were in class yesterday, you saw us using those websites for our listening exam materials. This is aehelp.com here with the blue background. To become a premium member and get 2 extra classes like this, live classes through Zoom each week, click the red button there and join our premium package. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, and an IELTS test registration center. We have helped thousands and thousands of students pass their IELTS exam, reach their desired scores, and go on to school, work, and immigration. Welcome Golzoda Haimim. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Again, just click those big red buttons and you are good to go. We've got a new discount code for you because we have a new video on YouTube. This code is FUTURE10 for an extra 10% discount. Students, you can link our apps to the websites. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can download those in the app stores and they'll link to the websites. You can also purchase through the apps as well. You can't use discount codes though. Apps and discount codes are just anyhow. So for checking out those Zoom classes for premium students, check out this link here. Hi Sultan, good to see you. Mal, good to see some members in there. Welcome Romelia. Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And if you have questions that do not get answered in these classes, just send us an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. All right, everybody. So again, today it's speaking. We will use Zoom today for a good part of the class to practice speaking. So if you don't have Zoom, now is a good time to install it. And we'll be using both YouTube and Zoom in parts of this class. Thank you, Sazid. Hi, Kamran. Students, tomorrow, if you're a premium member, you will have a task 2 writing class followed by a speaking class on Friday. And again, here's this new video we just released. So check this out. It's a new IELTS speaking interview video. Really good. I just put that into the chat. You will definitely learn some very, very valuable lessons and tips from that video. All right, everyone. So your speaking for the IELTS is a 12 to 15 minute interview with the examiner, and definitely go to your interview early. Like show up like 1 hour before and talk to some other people. Switch to English early on. Being in English or thinking in English, speaking in English before the interview is super duper important to get those higher band scores. All right, and then you go into your interview and the examiner will greet you and give you instructions and introduction for about 1 minute. So they'll say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. I will give you instructions for each of the 3 parts. This exam is being conducted in Toronto. The time right now is 10 o'clock. This is candidate number 99487312. Examiner number 48769, and exam center 7QY93. So that's kind of how it starts. In that time, think about what you need to do. Fluent professional English. This is not an English teacher. They're measuring your English ability. Show your range. Use colloquial language. You can use words like wanna and gonna. But you also want to use formal language like going to and will. Okay. All right, students. Now, very importantly, this is the first big tip I'm going to give you here on the lesson, is make sure to answer the question, use the question, plus give an explanation, and often include examples. Okay, focus on those 3 elements and you'll be definitely on the right track to get the maximum score. Okay. And Mal says, try to stay as calm as you can. Yeah, you have to just remember it's another day, another dollar. Life is long, right, Mal? Don't stress about it. Stay calm. Okay, and then the examiner will ask you the very first question to make sure you are who you say you are. May I see your identification, please? Yeah, sure. Incorrect. This is not your buddy. This is an examiner. They're looking to ID you and make sure that you are who you say you are. Yes, certainly. Here is my passport. Please take a look at my credentials. Okay. You have to say a sentence that's somewhat like this so that it shows the examiner that you're prepared. You understand that this is a formal interview with some casual elements included, but it is a formal interview because it's an exam and it's an examiner. It's not your friend that you just met at the coffee shop on the weekend. So it's not a yeah, sure. It's a yes, certainly. Here's my passport. Please take a look at my credentials. Okay. Sultan has an answer for us. Sultan says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport, which I used to register for this exam a few weeks ago. Please have a look. Yeah, that works, Sultan. That's a band 9 answer. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Adrian, but they're not giving you band scores for these questions. Technically, no. In actual real world, yes, they're measuring your English right away. Of course they are. You're speaking English to them. How would they not be measuring your English? It's kind of silly to say, oh, they don't measure your English in the beginning, just later on. It's like, what? How does that even make sense? So, okay. Oh, just Gupta, nice. Congrats on that band 7. Send us a testimonial. Anna has this response. Anna says, yes, gladly. It is my passport. It is my passport is awkward, Anna. This is my passport. If I'm asking you what is this, then you would say it is my passport, but it's obvious that it's your passport, so we don't say it is my passport. It's this is my passport. Not it is my passport. Okay. If I'm like, what do I have in my hand? And you can say, oh, it is my passport, or that is my passport. Okay. But you should say this is my passport. Okay, and then they will ask for your full name. Again, introduce yourself politely in a formal way. What is your full name? My first name is Mohammed, and my surname is Al-Zahrani. Please call me Mo for short. Okay. So again, nice full sentence answer, and let them know what you want to be called. They want to know that. So students, this is speaking. So make sure that you're speaking and repeating. Okay. Speak and repeat. Copy what I say. Copy how I say it. Okay. So Alexander, nice. Alexander responds, my first name is Walter and my family name is Sobchuk. Please call me Walter. Sure. I thought you were going to go with Wally. Please call me Wally. All right. Mal says, the person who interviewed me didn't seem to care. Yeah, you know, Mal, that's a good point. Like, students, you know, I'm teaching you a very standard kind of IELTS speaking interview, but there will be some slight variances. So don't build too much expectation. There will be, you know, some rules that are followed. So there's always going to be 3 parts. There's always the cue card. But they might mix it up. They might ask for your name before they ask for your ID. I mean, unlikely, but they could. They might not ask you for your nickname, so there could be some slight variances. The examiners try to make it feel a bit natural as much as they can, so there could be some slight variances on how they ask. Sometimes part 1 is on just one topic, like talk about hobbies or movies. Sometimes they mix it up. They'll ask you about your hobbies and movies, so don't build too much expectation, okay? Don't think that you can guess the exam. All right. Then they'll ask you some warm-up questions or icebreakers to try to make you feel comfortable. They'll ask a question like, do you work or study? Okay. And then you can say something like, I neither work nor go to school. Currently, I'm 100% focused on my IELTS exam. Once I pass, I will continue my master's in computer science at a reputable school in California, in the US. For example, okay? Lots of ways to answer that. Notice these correlative conjunctions, everybody, neither nor. These are really, really, really useful to get those higher band scores. Again, for those of you who have access to our premium courses, in your My Student account, you have some really, really useful materials. In the full online course, you've got this bonus writing and grammar course right here that will introduce these different kinds of conjunctions. And one of them are called correlative conjunctions, like neither nor, either or, not only but also. And these correlative conjunctions really help to emphasize language, okay? All right. So if you're not familiar with correlative conjunctions, make sure to review them, practice them in your speech. Examiners pay attention to that. Their ears perk up, if you know this expression. So examiners ears perk up when they hear correlative conjunctions. Okay, it means they go, oh, okay. All right, Yash has an answer for us. Yash says, I am a student and currently I'm pursuing my grade 11 with science stream, which includes math, physics, chemistry. I love science, that's why I chose this stream. That's a little bit strange. I would probably, instead of I love science, that's why I chose this stream, I would say in the future, I would love to explore a science major in university. Okay, something like that, something a little different, because it's kind of clear, this part of I love science. Okay. Yeah, Ibrahim, ears perking up is a bit of an idiom. It's like paying extra attention to interesting information. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, think about a dog or a cat. When they hear something interesting, they go, "Ooh," and their ears go, that's kind of what you can imagine there. Exactly, Maul, like a cat. The ears perk up. Okay, and then they'll ask you maybe one more, like what do you do at the weekends? And then they'll introduce part one topic. They'll say, let's talk about your hometown. Where is your hometown? Again, nice full sentence answer. Think about your hometown, think about where it's located, and go maybe from like small to big. So my hometown of Victoria is located on the southern tip of Vancouver Island, which is in the western province of Canada in the northern hemisphere. Okay, that'll get you a band 9. It's detailed, it's structured, it's clear. Okay, so detailed, structured, clear. Where's your hometown? My hometown of Victoria is located on the southern tip of Vancouver Island, which is in the western province of Canada. What province is that? British Columbia. Maybe I was a little fast there. In the northern hemisphere. There you go. Ichika says, my hometown is Chennai, which is located in the state of Tamil Nadu, in the central part of India. Is it central India, Ichika? So that could be a nice little detail there, right? India is a big country like Canada, so Ichika says, no, it's in the south. Right? Exactly. That's why we're teaching each other. Okay. Alexander says, my hometown was located on the far east of the Soviet Union. I moved to Moscow more than 30 years ago. Alexander, what is your hometown? You haven't answered the question. I get that you moved, and I get that it was in the far east of Soviet Union, but what is it? Right? You haven't answered the question. And Mujti Pubgum says PUBG, I guess, the game. Mujti PUBGM. I went to the speaking exam. How was your speaking exam? What was the topic? What did you do? I'm sure some of your peers are curious what the topics were in today's IELTS exam. Mudge. Okay, and so students, then the questions continue on. They get a little bit more and more complicated as they progress. So the next question is, what is the weather like in your hometown? And then by the end of it, there's a conditional. If you can change one part of your hometown, what would it be and why? So again, you have to answer in those full sentences. Okay. Then they get to part 2. In part 2, they show you a cue card like this one. Okay, and they tell you that you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic, and you will have 1 minute to prepare what you're going to say. You can take notes. Okay. Mohammed is asking, which part has the maximum score? That's a good question, Mohammed. It doesn't work like that. It's not like there's one maximum score for part 2 or part 3. All of the parts impact your score. Instead of thinking about it like which has the most score or value, think about it like this. You start with 100%. Okay, so it's a good question. I'll talk about this. I usually don't, and that was a very good question by Mohammed. So Mohammed has this question, and I'll talk about it just for 1 minute as we get going here. Before I talk about this, let me just go over part 2 so that you can start to prepare some ideas. So today's part 2 looks like this. Talk about an object you own which needs training to use. So you own it. Make sure you don't just talk about any old object. You have to own it. Pay very careful attention to this first topic sentence. Okay. What is this object? What do you use it for? Where did you get it? What kind of training does it need? And what is the best place? Let's correct that. Where is the best place to learn this skill? Okay. So think about that object. In fact, think of it loose 2 objects. Okay. You should always think about 2 to 3. So don't just think of 1. If you own a bicycle and it needs training to use, yeah. What's another object? You've got lots of objects that require training. Even very simple object like scissors or a knife or a pen. Okay. Hope I probably wouldn't even choose laptop. It's too complicated, unnecessary. Okay, students, so a little bit to answer Mohammed's question here. So Mohammed says, which part of the exam has the maximum score? Strange answer. Before you enter the exam room. I know that sounds kind of funny. And we'll even give it a little funny emoji here. There, ha ha ha. And so, before you enter the exam room has the maximum score. Because you start with a perfect 9. The examiner, for all they know, you are the best user of the English language to have ever walked the earth when you walk into that exam room. Okay. The serious answer here, though, everybody, is it depends how many points you lose. Okay, you can lose points and gain points throughout the exam. This is why a computer cannot examine you. Okay, we don't have computer technology, even with AI, that is so advanced that it can measure how nervous you are, how poorly you speak in the beginning, how much better you speak later on. Some people start with a super awesome part 1 and they sound great, and the examiner's like, wow, this person's like a band 8, and then they get into a cue card, they have to talk for 2 minutes, they have a part 3 with some more complicated questions, and it all falls apart, and they're like, well, okay, they were a band 8, but I can tell that they're not quite that good. They just had a lot of confidence in part 1, so they're probably like a band 7. Or the other way, you could go in and part 1, you're really nervous, you're stressed out, you're not a very extroverted person, you're introverted, you're not doing so well, but then you start to get more and more comfortable, and in part 2 you start to speak quite well for the 1 to 2 minutes, and in part 3 you're just doing awesome. So maybe you started a band 6, but by the end of it the examiner goes, oh, okay, they were kind of just nervous in the beginning, and clearly they have very good vocabulary, so they're closer to band 8. Does that make sense? So you can lose and gain points. So there isn't one part that becomes the most critical, let's say, for your end result. The whole exam is looked at in its entirety. Okay. Umar, the best way to practice the IELTS to get band 9s is to have the right strategies, the right idea, and to put in the time and the effort. And that's why everybody, again, boom, aehelp.com will get you there, our website. I mean, I highly recommend, of course, practicing with others and practicing with teachers, but having the right materials is really, really key for sure. Okay. Yesh, that is. Yeah, Yesh is asking if the examiner is asking some more challenging questions in part 3. It is a good sign that you're a band 7 plus. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it often is, for sure, Yesh. It means that you've been doing a good job, and they're just challenging your skills to see if you can respond to more advanced questions. Okay, so again, everybody, back to the cue card here. Part 2, an object that takes training to use, that you own. Okay, let's start using Zoom. Let's interact with students here. So I'll drop the Zoom link into the chat, and I'll open up Zoom. Okay, And meet me there. Keep YouTube open. Meet me on Zoom, and then we'll practice some of this speaking here. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. So if you don't have Zoom, you might have to download it. It's a very popular app for teaching, learning, meetings. No, Kavita, you can use a pencil in the writing section as well. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let me get my headphones on so I can hear you better. Now, I will continue to use my video on YouTube, not on Zoom, but you're welcome to use it on Zoom. Okay, we've already got 4 people in here. And so the goal here, everybody, will be to practice together. You can use the reactions to volunteer. Raise your hand. I'm going to lower my hand, but you see, if I see your hand up like this, I know that you're wanting to volunteer. Wanting to volunteer and practice with me. So some more people in here. Let me just admit everybody, and then we'll get going. I'll keep kind of letting people in as they show up, and then we'll push forward. Okay. All right. Let's start with Anna. Anna, can you chime in?
Yes, gladly. I wanna be first volunteer.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Just back at home from work.
Just back at home from work. That's awesome. Okay. There's a couple more people here. Let me get them in, and then we'll get going. Okay. Well, Anna, let's start off this speaking interview. Just give everybody a little taste of how it starts or what to expect. Are you ready?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let's do it. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification, please?
Yes, definitely. This is my passport, which I have used for my registration recently. Please have a look.
What is your full name?
My first name is Anna, and my family name is Popova. Please call me by my first name, Anna.
Okay, Anna. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better, and some questions on a general topic. What do you do at the weekends?
At the weekend, I prefer to listen to music because I'm a big fan of lyrics. So I used to listen romantic songs at least for 1 hour at the weekend.
Let's talk about your hometown. Where's your hometown?
My hometown Odessa is situated in the heart of southern part of Ukraine, and it has beautiful beaches.
What is the weather like in your hometown?
My weather is about plus 10 degree in winter, and in my opinion we have pretty warm winter. It's hardly ever goes under zero. The weather hardly ever goes under 0 degrees.
Okay, let me just stop there and give you some feedback. Okay, so my first reaction as the examiner is, okay, the student is fluent, they're comfortable with English, and they definitely have, I would say, good English. So the examiner here, without, looking at the marking and all of the detailed mistakes of grammar and so on, they would say, okay, this is at least about a 7 to maybe 7.5. Let's see how they progress. I'm definitely identifying a few slight mistakes. However, from the beginning, I know that you prepared. You have a very confident start. You feel calm, confident. Those first couple of questions about the ID and your name, you were very natural there. I can tell that you not only prepared, but you feel natural. And then as I kind of got going with some of these questions, you answered them well. You gave some nice answers, but there were some oddities. So I asked you this question: what do you do at weekends? And you said, at the weekend, I prefer to listen to music because I'm a big fan of lyrics. I used to listen to romantic music for at least 1 hour on the weekend. There's one kind of critical mistake here. I wonder
lyrics.
No. I wonder if your peers, your classmates, can tell me what that mistake is, or if you can find what that mistake is. Feedback is really important. There's one here that's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but that's kind of strange to say. So what do you think is that part where the examiner is doing this kind of little head scratch going, oh, that's a little bit strange to say that? Anybody? Think about it. I'll give you a hint, Anna. I'll give you a hint, everybody. It's something to do with a part of the grammar that's there.
Pronunciation is awful. Thank you.
What is it? It's part of the grammar. It's a word in there that makes the grammar a little bit awkward. In English, the timelines are tricky sometimes. The timelines, right?
Yeah.
So can anybody identify what that is?
I used to listen.
Exactly. That's what it is. I used to listen.
I listen to music. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you got to take out that
used
part.
to listen in the past. I found this. Yeah.
Yes, it means that it was in the past, but you don't do it anymore. So you have conflicting information. You said at the weekend I prefer to listen to music. This means you do it now. This means you don't do it now. So in the real world, Anna, I would ask you, I would follow up here, and I would say, so do you still listen to music, or is this something you used to do? So I'd have to clarify that.
In translate from my native language, I used to listen to music. It's like present time, and when I don't speak English a little bit, I translate my native into English.
Correct. So in English, we do have a grammar form that can express that, but it's not used to, and that's what people often confuse.
Yeah, I prefer to listen, or I have been listening to music for 2 hours.
There you go. It's the present perfect. I have had this hobby for at least the last 20 years. So the present perfect is the one that we use to show that kind of continuity. I know, because often individuals will say I used to because they want to show habit, like I have a habit of doing this, but it doesn't mean you still do it. So if you want to show that habit, it's better to use the present perfect. Okay?
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's try that one more time. What do you do at the weekends?
At the weekend, I prefer to listen to music, and honestly, on Saturday, I prefer to listen to music at least for 2 hours, and Sunday, I can listen to music all day.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's much better. So that was clear grammar there. No, Carolina, you cannot say I am used to. It doesn't work in this case. Okay.
I get used to. I get used to in this harsh condition. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. It for music, if you're doing it habitually, like if it's something that you like doing day in, day out, and you continue doing it, it's best to use the present perfect there. I have been listening to music on the weekends for many years.
I have been for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Anna. Thank you.
And I have a question. If we say about how often do you listen to music, can I say this? I listen to music and watch clips on TV simultaneously, or it's off topics, because I also like to watch clips.
Well, if the question is how often, then you have to say frequency, like twice a day or every week, right? So
no. I mean, if I will say that I listen to music and I watch clips, musical clips together.
Yeah.
Like listening and watching, it will be okay, or it's a bit
that's fine. No, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, that's okay. All right, Anna, thank you so much for being my first volunteer today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. It sounds like the house is busy.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. By the way, I have improved my communication with my speaking partner, Hank.
Good.
So, yes, now.
Good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that, Anna. That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Okay, have a good day. Yeah, so Anna was just sharing with everybody that she has a speaking partner that that you can find as well through these classes. Just make sure you're careful when you're sharing information with each other. Okay, let's see who else has volunteered here. Let's touch Kea. We haven't seen you in a little bit. Do you want to chime in, Touch Kea? Unmute yourself.
Hi,
Hi, Touch Kea. How are you?
I'm fine. What about you, sir?
I'm also doing good. Thank you for asking. Touch Kea, are you ready for a few questions?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, let's do it. So we're going to continue talking about your hometown. Where is your hometown?
Well, my hometown is Naranganj, which is very close to the capital city of Dhaka. It is located the central city of Bangladesh.
What is the weather like in your hometown?
It's pretty good and comfortable. In my country, the summer is not too much hot, and winter season is quite suitable for us, so it's pretty well.
When is a good time to visit there?
Can you repeat the question again?
When is a good time to visit there?
Is definitely the winter seasons. This time is because of my is really great time, especially if you there are several type of tourist spot in my country. The Cox's Bazar, Sajek, or many kind of beautiful different place. This time is definitely for people get their holiday a holiday time, so this time mostly people are visiting this type of place.
If you could change one part of your hometown, what would it be and why?
It's definitely the traffic time, because of my hometown is really hassle vessel all the time. There are traffic jam at the moment because of don't make people don't uh, uh, people don't follow the rules or any kind of things. So I think that if I get chance to, I definitely want to change this part.
Okay, let's stop there. And I'll give you some feedback. Okay, Tachkea, that was really good, first of all. Thank you. So here, as the examiner, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, I get you. You're fluent. You can keep talking and you don't just kind of suddenly pause and not sure what you say. So you're good at continuing your speech. I'm catching quite a few mistakes in word choice, in coherence, in verb choice, verb form. So I would say that this is not quite good English yet. It's a little bit less than good English. It's definitely fluent. So at this point in the exam, I'm thinking band 6 to 6.5. So fluent to maybe a little bit better than fluent. You're very fluent in some parts. I would actually recommend that you slow down a bit. You slow down a bit and you focus. Somebody's really yelling back there. So you focus on accuracy. So a lot of focus on accuracy. Let me give you an example here. So I asked you, what is the weather like in your hometown? You said the summer is not too much hot. It's an awkward way to express the weather. Could you try that a little bit differently? So say that again about the summer. So what is the weather like in your hometown?
Summer actually in
Summers
summer
are mild would be a natural way. Summers are mild. They are not too hot.
yes,
It is usually around, what's the temperature? Numbers are always very helpful. What's the temperature like?
around 35 around
Degrees.
if
Yeah. So just repeat after me. Summers are mild. They're not too hot compared to other countries in the region, usually around 35 degrees.
Well, summer is mild, is not too much hot. Comparing the other countries is around 35 degrees actually. So, and winter season is also not this much chilling, cool. So is temperature around 18 degrees Celsius.
Much better. Okay, you spoke slower, more accurately, clear. That was much better. That's what you want to do. Okay, accuracy is
Okay.
way more important than speed. If you're speaking quickly, but I can't understand you clearly, and you're making lots of mistakes, you'll get a much lower score than if you're speaking a bit slower but much clearer. Okay, so really focus on that
Okay.
clarity. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Goodbye and take care.
good. It was good hearing you again, Touch K. Goodbye. All right. Min, do you want to unmute yourself? I gotta ask about that dog. Min, are you there?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I'm good. Min, is that your poodle?
Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, oh, little guy. That big fluffy cotton ball head. I just got a puppy, so I'm puppy love struck these days.
Yeah.
New puppy. All right. Well, so you're paying tribute to your dog with that image. What was his or her name?
His name is Poe.
Poe. Okay, I love that
Yeah.
name. That's great. All right, Poe. Okay, so Min, are you ready for a little bit of part two?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. So at this point, when you're finished part one, everybody, the examiner will introduce part two. They will show you these questions, usually in a booklet if you're doing the face-to-face interview. If you're on the computer, they'll have the card appear on the screen for your computer. And then you read the card. Now, we already reviewed the card. Min, were you in at the beginning of the class?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so you have an idea of what this cue card is. Did you think about a couple objects that you can choose from?
Well, I'm thinking about my digital camera.
Okay. Did you think about another one? Any other object? There's a reason I'm asking. I'll tell you that in a second. But did you think of one, or did you just go for the digital camera?
And I also have a fly cam.
Fly cam? Okay. Yeah, so it's still kind of in the camera world, right? So what I always recommend when you're in the IELTS, really think about, okay, a couple of things that require training to use. Always maybe think of something that's simple, like really, really simple, like as simple as a pencil, right? A pencil can require training to use if you're a graphic artist or even for writing notes and text. And you can have something much more complicated like a digital camera. What's the big difference between the two, Min? So if I choose to talk about a pencil for this versus a camera, what's going to be the biggest difference in my response in the 2 minutes? What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
So what's the biggest difference? So let's say like person A chooses to talk about the camera. Person B chooses to talk about a pencil. What's the difference between person A and person B? Yeah, Juan had an answer there and he erased it, but it was actually very good. Yeah. So Juan said describing it, right, Min? So describing a
Yeah.
camera, describing a pencil, talking about how to use a pencil or the training that's required to use a pencil versus talking about the training required to use a digital camera. Talking about a digital camera is quite a bit more challenging. So it's really important, students, that you recognize that your choice for part two will have a big impact on your result. Okay. But having said that, if you know some words, right, like, are you familiar with all the words, Min, with digital cameras? Like all of the,
Yeah.
like, words like aperture and focal distance and auto zoom and lens and so on and so forth. Like you know all the technical terms around the camera.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. No, that's, open, right? So I'm not, I really am just open asking, because that's what you have to check, right? So if you choose digital camera, it can be a very good choice. You just have to make sure that you feel comfortable talking about it in English, right? If you don't, then it might be a better choice. And I'm not just talking to you, Min, I'm talking to everybody, of course. So it might be a better choice to go with something significantly simpler, right? Because simpler objects are often simpler to talk about. So that's all that you have to be cautious about. Okay, so digital camera it is. You want to talk about the digital camera for a minute or two?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's do it. I'll start you off, and then you go, and I'll stop you. Here we go. So talk about an object that you own which needs training to use. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
An object that I own, an object that requires training to use effectively is my digital camera. It's a high-end DSLR camera from Sony that I use primarily for photography, especially during holiday trips or special events. I purchased this camera about 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. I bought it from a professional shop in my local hometown and my local area after researching extensively about the best options for beginners on the internet. My main purpose for buying it was to capture high-quality photos and videos, as I wanted to preserve my travel memories. However, using a DSLR camera is not as simple as I thought. It requires knowledge of various settings like shutter speed or aperture. Each of these settings has a significant impact on the quality of the photos, especially in different lighting conditions. To learn how to use it properly, I enrolled in a basic photography course at a local art center. The course covered the fundamentals of manual mode and how to compose a visually appealing photo. In my opinion, the best place to learn how to use a camera is a hands-on setting like a photography workshop or even while practicing outdoors. Overall, learning to use my DSLR camera has been a rewarding experience, and it has given me not only a useful skill but also a creative outlet that I thoroughly enjoy.
Okay, your 2 minutes is up, and I'll stop you there. And if we transcribe that and put it on Wikipedia, we could have a little article on learning to use digital camera. That was awesome. That was awesome. Really, 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 really good. I have to ask, did you practice and prepare this answer before this class even started? Or did you do it spontaneously?
Yeah, I did many IELTS mocking tests before, so I think that is because my experience.
And that's exactly what it is. Experience speaks volumes. This is an expression in English. Experience speaks volumes. It means that basically experience is the key to success. Experience is the key to professional results. That was textbook. So other than a couple of really slight pronunciation oddities for my ear, but I personally would give you a band 9 for that, no problem. So I think that your description, how you told me the origin of the object, the purpose of the object for you, the training that it requires, what kinds of training it requires, the best place for the training, the way you both recognized how to talk about an object as well as recognized how to answer all the questions on the cue card. Realistically, everybody watching, it's as good as it gets. As far as content, that's textbook, that's lecture level, presentation level response. So that's a band 9. That's an expert response to this kind of a question. Good for you. Good for you. Very, very, very good, man. That was outstanding. The one pronunciation that for me was a little bit odd was course. It
Yeah,
almost sounded like it was somewhere between cost and course. So just repeat this word after me. Course.
course.
The best place to learn about using a DSLR is in a professional course. Try to repeat that whole bit there for me. I'll say it one more time. The best place to learn to use a DSLR is in a professional photography course.
The best place to use DSLR camera is a professional course.
Much better. Yeah, so there's better course. You're pronouncing that nicer now, cleaner. So like I say, but overall, even your pronunciation is very, very good. You have very, very nice, articulate pronunciation. So just a couple of words that for me, maybe for a British ear, it would not be. So that's why, like, those slight pronunciation, nobody really cares, honestly, because we have that variance across the globe in English. But content, vocabulary, grammar, you used correlative conjunction. You said it's not only what did you say? You said it's not only a hobby for me, but a creative outlet as well. So that was, yeah, it was really, really well done. Really, really well done. I loved it. Thank you so much, Min.
Thank you, Andrea.
That was a fantastic example for this part too. Hope you have a great day. All right, everybody. Give Min a thumbs up. That is well deserved. And that sets a benchmark for sure. Okay, let's take another student here. Abraham, why don't you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
I am doing great, Abraham. How are you?
I'm great. I have finished the party durians tonight and a little bit drunk.
Ah, you're a little bit drunk.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's sweet.
All right. Well, you,
Trust me.
say,
Durians,
say,
sir.
say it like this. If you're a little bit drunk, don't say I'm a little bit drunk, because that drunk always carries a bit of negative for people, I think. So instead of saying I'm a bit drunk, so don't say I'm a bit drunk. Say I'm a bit tipsy.
Tipsy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little tipsy.
I'm a bit tipsy. That has more of a positive, little like, I'm feeling, good. I'm a bit tipsy.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so you're a bit tipsy, Abraham. All right, let's do a couple of part 3 questions. This should be fun. Let's talk about instruments. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What are different types of instruments people use for work or entertainment?
I think the different types of instruments when people use for works instruments is the purpose of it. When the people use instruments like pianos, guitars, personally, he must be a musicians or a group of musics. While they use instruments like laptops or camera, they must be an employer or some professionals, photographer that much of their activities related with workings in the office or workings in the room.
Which of these are the most difficult to use and why?
I think said that when people use a camera, it's become more difficult if people are the beginner to use it. They have to know about the functions of basic skills in order to get a high quality of the pictures, such as like shutter speeds, exposures, and stability. And with lots of the learning and practice, at least several times, taking photos in others area will be makes someone become great customs and commands with buttons and sticks on the instruments have.
If people spend much time to play a musical instrument, will they become a very good musician?
I'm not really sure about this because spending a lot of times music cannot say that people will be good in musicians because people might master it, but in some case they will have difficulties such as reading notes. I have a friend who names is Raja. He's really excellent guitarist. He can play music by only listening and mimicking the musics as well. But when he faced with reading notes, he cannot read it and play as music notes tell because he doesn't know about how to reading it. So I think that playing music instruments a lot makes people not only great as a good musician, sir.
Okay, let's stop there. I'll give you some feedback. All right, Abraham, not bad at all. So I would say the examiner at this point is thinking about maybe like a 6.5 to 7. So getting towards good. In order to reach that good, Abraham, you want to be a little bit more concise. So say what you're saying, but 30% less, because you're kind of just repeating sometimes the information, or you're kind of stretching it unnecessarily. So focus on being concise. Your answers are good. Like you said, I'm not really sure about this because spending a lot of time on music doesn't mean an individual will be truly professional. They may not be able to read music, like my friend who is proficient at the guitar but cannot read music sheets. And then you stop there. Okay, so just a bit more concise, but overall quite good, and really focus on the question. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just repeating because I want to make the examiners clear with my idea, and I don't know it will be making my band score become low, sir.
It will, yeah. So, and they'll interrupt you. Some of them are not patient. So if they feel like you're really just repeating and they understood you the first time, you're first. So Abraham, your English is clear. When you tell me a sentence, I understand it. You don't have to repeat it. So instead of repeating it, either give more detail or go to the next question. You don't have to reiterate your answers so much. I think maybe I might have had a couple of experiences in the past where you felt like somebody didn't understand you. The examiner will understand you. They get you. So just say it once, otherwise they'll interrupt you. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, so I remind you.
Yeah, and continue to enjoy the night. Have a drink for me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for your opportunity, sir. Bye, sir.
All right, everybody. I'm going to end our Zoom session there for now, but tomorrow we'll have full-on Task 2 writing Zoom session, and on Friday, full-on speaking Zoom session for our premium members. But you have to be a premium member, everybody, for that. And to become a premium member, you need to go to the website, aehelp.com, click this big red button here, sign out. It's a one-time payment, 30 to 50 bucks US, depending on where you are in the world. Same thing with general IELTS, gieltshelp.com, and then you've got lots more chances to interact and learn and study, as well as access to all of the online materials that we have for you. So well worth it. It's big bang for buck. Students, that's it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. I hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in the world today. Bye for now, students.